Have you ever wondered why it's so difficult to get into a conversation with certain people while others is so easy? Like you just find it so easy, so smooth to start a conversation with them. But with others, you're asking yourself, how do I get this done? How am I going to say this to this person? This is because we all have different personality traits. And in this video, we'll talk about the two main personality traits, which are introverts and extroverts. So welcome to Building Bridges. Welcome to this channel. If you're joining me for the first time, my name is Annabelle and I founded Building Bridges to help women to know what their purpose is and live a fulfilled life. So let's talk about introverts. Introverts are people that are quiet. They are reserved. All their goals and their aspirations are in their heart. They avoid crowds. They do not like to interact a lot. And they love to be in a very quiet place. They love quiet environments. They love to be alone. They're deep thinkers, really. They like to be on their own to think, and they're very reserved. While extroverts are people that are not reserved, they're sociable, they like to interact, they like noise, they like people around them, they like to hang out, they like to seek attention, they like it when everyone is looking at them, when all the attention is on them, and they love to interact with others. They function well in very noisy places, while introverts don't function in very noisy places. So why should we know whether we are an introvert or an extrovert? The first reason is that when you know your personality, when you know who you are, you can function better. You know better how to interact, how to deal with others. You know how to relate with them. You know how to communicate with them. You know exactly the job types that suits you, that suits your personality. And especially, you know how to deal with the different temperaments. So let's now talk about the two different personalities, the two breakdowns of introverts and extroverts. Introverts are further divided into two groups. We have the peaceful phlegmatic and the perfect melancholic. So we'll start with the peaceful phlegmatics. The peaceful phlegmatics are very quiet people. They're very calm, they're quiet, they're easygoing. Their life is mostly centered around their families. They don't get upset easily. They're very tolerant, they're humble, they're patient, they're loving. They love to work under pressure, and they excel very well when they work under pressure. And usually they might have a single friend all through their life. They're very tolerant. Regardless of what you do, they tolerate easily. They're loyal. They are also very stable, and they don't get upset easily. The negatives about the phlegmatics is that they lack ambition. They're usually very stubborn, not very sociable. They resist change. They're indecisive. They neglect their duties and are sometimes very slow or lazy. They procrastinate a lot. But what are the jobs that they excel in? Peaceful phlegmatics excel as public relations officers. They excel as human resource managers. Peaceful phlegmatics also excel as law enforcement officers. The second group of people we'll look at here are perfect melancholics. Perfect melancholics are fact-oriented. They are disciplined. They are withdrawn. They are suspicious about everything and about everyone. They sometimes get sad even without any reason. So they are kind of moody people. They're very compassionate. They're organized. They're deep thinkers, they're diligent, they're attentive to details, they're very serious over everything. They pay attention even to the smallest person that is talking to them. They're neat, they're faithful, they're reliable, and they're very decent. But some of their negative qualities are that they're very analytical. And so because they want everything to be perfect, they take so much time to accomplish tasks. They love to stay in the background. They don't like the spotlight to be on them. They have loads of problems dealing with others because they're always so suspicious about others. And they don't like to expect things, they don't really like to expect things from others. And they're not quite flexible. They don't like to be on the spotlight. Like we said earlier, they are very rigid, they are stubborn, they are proud. They have these mood swings which makes them not very friendly, and they always expect people to have a very high standard. They criticize others a lot, and they're always so withdrawn from others, so which limits their relationship skills. But there are a few jobs that they can excel very well in. They are very good in arts and craft. They're very good as social workers because of their caring nature. They are great engineers. They are great medical doctors. They are great accountants. They are great in humanitarian services. They are great dentists as well, and especially business analysts, because they are great at taking their time to analyze every little detail of the business. The second group of people are extroverts, and under extroverts we'll look at cholerics and sanguines. Cholerics are people that are extroverted, they're positive, they have great energy, they are great at planning events, they are good leaders, and especially they are very dominant and action oriented. They love to get things sooner than later. They are very confident, great at solving problems, they are responsible, and they love to save money. Most especially, they can easily handle emergencies, and are very disciplined, neat, orderly, and time conscious. But what are some of their negatives? They are extremists. It's either they do it very good, or they don't, or they do it very bad. So if they're upset with you, they either take it to an extreme, to either the great side or the worst side of it. They are very aggressive and overconfident, so they're just so full of themselves. They don't listen to advice. They are very insulting, they're judgmental. They usually have very few friends because they don't really know how to make friends, and they're quite revengeful. They don't tolerate easily. They're quick-tempered, arrogant. They're too principled, so many people do not like to associate with them, because once their principles are broken, they don't want to associate with you either. They're very harsh, they can't sustain conversations, they're not very polite, and they're not as friendly, but they're not also very romantic. What are some jobs that they can do? They can excel very well as leaders, they can excel very well as project managers, as supervisors, they can excel very well in politics, in IT, and they can also be great human rights attorneys. The next set of people under the extroverted qualities are the sanguines. Usually referred to as the popular sanguines, they are the easiest people to live with. They are very sociable, they love telling stories, they're so chatty, they get along very easily with everyone, and the way they behave easily charms people. So they're quite creative, they love to interact with people, they're apologetic, they're romantic, they have so much energy, they can easily multitask, they're open-hearted and compassionate. They're always very, very caring, which makes everyone love them. But what are some of their negative qualities? They are very impulsive. They act before they think, and which makes them usually regret some of their actions. They are very unreliable because they promise a lot. They make so many promises, and they are not, because they're not able to say no to people. They make promises and they can't fulfill them. They are very noisy. They are attention seekers. When they get into the room, they want all eyes to be on them. They are emotionally weak, and so they easily get hurt. They live in the now. They exaggerate a lot. The slightest thing that happens to them, they build a very massive story around it. They lack discipline, and especially they dream a lot. Like even things that they know, that they set goals that they can't realize. And in relationships, they are very unfaithful. But let's talk about some jobs that they can easily excel in. They excel in sales, marketing, entertainment. They can be great musicians, great great actors. They are great at public speaking, and they are also very good customer service agents. Now that you know where you stand, I'm sure from watching this video you can be able to know whether you're a melancholic, you're a phlegmatic, a sanguine, or a choleric. Note that there is no personality which is best. We all have our positive and our negatives. What matters is for us to know how we can interact with others, how we can use our positives better, and how we can build on our negatives so that we can always fill the gap of our weaknesses. So don't feel like sanguines are the best people to live or the best quality to have. Know your strengths, know what you're good at, work on your negatives while building your strengths always. And when you meet a sanguine, you know exactly how to interact with them. For some of these qualities, like the sanguine or the cholerics, when you meet them for the first time, they tell you everything about their lives. Some people don't like that. So it's not about saying this or that personality is best. It's about knowing how to interact with the others, how to communicate when you face these different people. If you love the content of this video, make sure to share, like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments in the chat, and I'll see you in the next video.